Virat Kohli.
How would you like to be remembered?
There was a mad colonel who started something called senior living. I've seen the worst of times in Faridkot in Punjab.
What are still some of the misconceptions that you see people have?
If you are parent of a daughter, you always will go to America in winter to take care of the grandchildren. We have his 102 and her son is the only man who has been to the space from India. Is Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma. My salary was 472 rupees.
Which year was this?
1969. I joined NDA in 65.
Your favorite cricketer?
Virat Kohli.
And then, of course, in 1995, you retired. What prompted that decision?
Army paid me 10,000 rupees as a colonel.
We thought of old age homes. There's a stigma or a taboo. How did you break that?
Firstly, I removed this word home.
One of the things that I also, when we were in the community, we experienced a death in the community.
You will not get newborn babies. You will get only dead bodies going out.
One habit from the army that you still follow?
Planning and implementing.
I'm delighted to be a part of Zerodha's 01 Media Network. If you want to learn from the lived experiences of our seniors, been there, done that is the channel to follow.
Hello and welcome. On this podcast, I, Rajneil, talk to remarkable seniors about their lives, their experiences, their learnings, and their insights on an active lifestyle. We have a very special guest today who's a pioneer in the field of senior living. He grew up the ranks in the Indian Army and then switched over to business to create a model for others to follow when it comes to helping seniors have a fantastic life. I'm in conversation with Colonel Achal Sridharan. Sir, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
This is a question I ask all our guests, and sometimes it may come across as rude or impolite, but how old are you?
I'm only 76 years young. I'm not old.
But do you feel 76, or I remember you said you feel 17 and you were subtracting your age from 90.
Frankly speaking, my way of calculating my age is, I think the median age for all youngsters like us is 90. I subtract 76 from 90, so I'm actually 14 years. Next year I will be 13.
13.
Then I behave like a baby, then I get diapers, I get all sorts of things. So
you keep getting younger.
yes,
You keep
should never
getting younger.
grow older.
Yeah.
You guys are older because you say, how old are you? I'll say, how young are you?
How young are you? And what does a typical day look like? You're still working, you're still involved in day-to-day activities of COVID care. So what is it like?
So morning, normally you get up and then you do some exercise or you go for a walk and things like that. But I do continue to do that, and I do have I exercise myself every day. I read newspapers. This is something which I find this generation doesn't read newspapers. And then I come to have my breakfast and I come to the office around 10ish. That's how it starts. And then I come to this is my headquarters, but then we have retirement communities across Coimbatore and also in other cities. And I come in the morning, and by the time I go back in the evening around 6, I don't know how the time flies.
That's wonderful. Yeah, every day is a good day. I wanted to ask you, so you're 14 now, but when you were 16, you joined the army. Your father was a journalist. You were born and brought up in Delhi. You were playing a lot of sport. How did you then make that decision? You also got into St. Stephen's, but how the decision then to go into the armed forces?
It's a very simple thing. I was not in NCC. Many of you go to NCC as a stepping stone to going to the National Defense Academy. In my case, my best friend was a guy called Sushil Joseph. He's in the Merchant Navy. I think he has retired from there also. And he was writing the NDA examination, so he told me, why didn't you also write? So anyway, I also applied along with him. From the UPSC, we got the form. And he failed. And I passed the exam. And then simultaneously, I went for the interview, and there also I cleared. And I cleared the medical. My 12th class or 11th class higher secondary results also came. I got about 55%, which was very good marks those days. I got admission into St. Stephen's, gave me in chemistry honors admission. Then the NDA results came. I made an All India merit. And I said, why the hell I should continue to study? So I didn't want to study. So I said, best is to join the NDA and the army. And I was very wrong about not studying in NDA because, to be honest, the first thing they did was to take us to one fort, which is behind the parade ground. And they started giving us books of physics, chemistry, maths, mechanics, and all sorts of history, geography. I cried. I literally cried. And then that senior cadet who came with us, he fired me saying that you can't be a sissy here, you can't cry, and why are you crying? I said, I don't want to study. They said, you bloody well study, you entered NDA. But I studied and I look at my luck. I retired from Defense Services Staff College. I was in the faculty in 1995. Till that day, I was studying. So I joined the army not to study, but I continued to study the army.
What are some of your most cherished moments, or what are the stories you love telling your grandkids about the armed forces?
I think the first story which I can always think about is the first letter I got from my father when I was in NDA. My father was a journalist.
Okay.
So he sends me a letter saying that, we suddenly missed you yesterday because 1 kg of Daseri arm, we used to get 7, but today we had 1 surplus. So then only we said, we are missing you. Then I wrote him back saying that only for that mango reminded you that I'm not there. But to say it, army has been a fantastic place to stay and learn. 3 years in NDA, and then I went to Indian Military Academy, 1 more year, 4 years. I was commissioned when I was less than 20. My salary was 472 rupees.
Which year was this?
1969. I joined NDA in 65. And with 472 rupees, I could drink scotch. You can't imagine today. And I paid for my meals. Those days, we didn't get that entitled rations. So I had to pay as an officer for my food. But yet, I had a cycle. But then I could drink scotch once a week. But those were the days which, I started my career, and it was very nice. I've been in Sikkim. I've been in Assam. I've seen the worst of times in Faridkot in Punjab, during the Punjab insurgency or whatever problems we had in Punjab. Then I was also had the privilege of serving in the South Block as a military assistant to the Chief of the Army Staff. So I knew how the decisions were taken at the highest level.
Yeah. And then, of course, in 1995, you retired. You took an early retirement. What prompted that decision?
I had an excellent career. I mean, to be very honest with you, the best of postings. I was in military operations directorate. I was instructor in staff college. I was MA to the chief. But army paid me 10,000 rupees as a colonel. I mean, I'm talking of 1995. I was commissioned in 69. I joined NDA in 65. 10,000 rupees. My elder daughter was studying in Lady Shri Ram College, Delhi. My younger daughter and my wife, I left them in Madhukarai near Coimbatore, where I commanded my artillery regiment. I was in Wellington. I used to come by bus on weekends. 5 buses I used to take. I couldn't afford to buy petrol for my car, and 10,000 rupees for the salary. And at that age, all of us have a housing loan.
Yeah.
So I couldn't manage financially. So I quit. I quit means I put up my papers. It was rejected and finally accepted. And I got full pension. I had a commission service of almost 27 years. And 3,200 rupees was my pension. I had 3 lakh rupees was my total saving in my life. I joined my contractor who built my house in Coimbatore. And he told me, you join me and we can do something better. He was a hard-nosed contractor. He wanted to become a real estate developer. Okay. So he did not understand much about the sales, marketing, customer relations, etc., etc. So he said, you do that and I will do the construction. And we developed an 18 acres in Coimbatore, my first project. And that's how I got into real estate development. And I started my own company in 2001 when we finished that project of 18 acres. It's a gated community, not heard of those days. And 2004, I experimented with senior living. It caught the imagination of the people. And then when somebody came and took me and showed me a piece of land, I told him real estate is not possible. That it didn't have any that social infrastructure that you need, like schools and hospitals and things like that.
Right.
So I told him, no, we can't do this here. So I came back home and told my wife that we can't do that real estate project there. She said, what you're talking about some senior old for the senior living for us. I said, possible. Then I went back to the same piece of land and I saw, and it was a coconut grove and it was agricultural land. And I went back to the landowner. I told him I'll take 5 acres. And my first project of senior living, I did 5 acres and another 1.2 acres for the common amenities like your clubhouse, your dining hall, your medical center.
Right.
A cantonment gives you everything.
Yeah.
Security is there. And then you got maids coming in and going out. And then you have food in the clubhouse, your clubs there. I made it into a clubhouse here. And then there are offices, messes there. Medical is available. And what else you need? You need some entertainment, so I put up an open air theatre.
Nice.
So it is again, open air theatre came from the army days only.
Yeah.
We used to have in Barrackpur open air theatre. So that is how I started my senior living, and that caught the imagination. Perhaps it was 2004. I think the effects of Y2K we were feeling at that time.
Right.
Children went away, and people are aging, and that's how I stuck around with senior living more than real estate. And I've done about 21 years of senior living, and along with it, I've grown younger. And my youngest resident is 104.
Oh, wow.
A lady, and she's absolutely fine. And the another lady we have is 102, and her son is the only man who has been to the space from India. Is Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma. So she also stays with us, and Rakesh and his wife are shuttling between Coimbatore and Wellington. So we have centurions. So we are very happy that, and ladies normally live longer than men.
You know, when we were growing up, we thought of old age homes, right? They were not happy places. You know, you felt like there were seniors who were abandoned there. And then I come to the senior living home here and everybody is happy. They're playing table tennis. I think I was partially envious because they were more fitter than I was in many, many ways. And how did you turn that notion on its head, and how easy was it to convince people when you started that this is not that typical, you know, what you may think of? Like there's a stigma or a taboo. How did you break that?
It was. You see, when I started the senior living, firstly I removed this word home. Old age home is always linked to the old age home for destitute or run by some NGO or by government itself, the state and the central government. They also run old age homes. So I said, let us first remove this word old age home. I removed it. And then the convincing the seniors was more easier than convincing their children. You see, you must understand one thing, that senior citizens like me, we always advised our children, suggested to them, and we groomed them and brought them up and gave them some direction. Of course, they were intelligent enough to take it. You will find everywhere, when you become a senior citizen above 70, 75, 80, the reverse happens. For everything, there is you need a permission from your son or your daughter, or you are looking behind your shoulder. So for me, the problem was not convincing the seniors to come to my senior living facility. The problem was convincing that children were sitting in USA or in Delhi or in Assam, because they said, Mama, you can't go and live in an old age home. You see, that was the more of a problem. Then we took some videos and we took some interviews, and then we made them enjoy life. I said, you create a life which is not boring. I said, you yourself can sing songs, you can create. My staff can also help you.
What are still some of the misconceptions that you see people have? I mean, some of the silly questions that you had to field. You're looking at somebody and saying, really, you're asking me this? Like, what are some of those things you've come across?
The misconception is that they miss the children and they want to go. I used to see them all going every year to USA. And there also there's a difference. This gender difference and daughter-in-law and son-in-law difference even is there in the seniors also.
Okay.
If you are parent of a daughter, you always will go to America in winter
Is it?
to take care of the grandchildren. And if you are the parent of the son, you'll always go in the summer because you enjoy, because your son, bete ka baba. So either to beti ka ho gaya. So I was to ask them, and then a stage comes, say around 80 years, they stop going. They said, what happened? I said, who the hell will travel 20 hours and let
Right.
them also come here. But but then they look forward to the children. They are not abandoned. Children come and every year they come and enjoy. One daughter told me, she said, Colonel, this is the first time I'm enjoying my holiday with my mother-in-law. Oh, I said, why? I said, no worries about cooking or nothing. Mommy wakes up, come on, get up, 7 o'clock. We have to go for breakfast. We go for breakfast. We have, and then we plan for the day somewhere and come back. Dinner is ready, available. And I said, this is a holiday. I'm dreading now to go and take care of my mother in Chennai because there is nothing. So then you seek for companionship to talk, discuss. Nothing wrong. You know, you go to your neighbor and speak, or he comes to your house or she comes to your house and you speak. So that is the kind of a companionship necessary to keep this brain active. And it also ensures that you don't get depressed. All of us get depressed at some part of the day, sometime.
Right.
But if it prolongs, then it's a cause for worry.
Right.
Companionship ensures that you don't get into depression.
One of the things that I also, when we were in the community, we experienced a death in the community. How do seniors usually react to that when, somebody they know they've been having lunch, dinner with is suddenly not there anymore?
So death is taken as a only guaranteed thing to happen. In a retirement community, you will not get newborn babies. You will get only dead bodies going out. So what happens is, after you stayed there for 10 years or 15 years, you are seeing this. Somebody in that, and everybody gets a message saying so and so was not well, he has passed away, and the body will be, we have a fantastic drill for funerals. And then accepting we don't fire the
gun salute.
guns and all.
Yeah.
But for that we give everything. And we take care of the relatives coming and everything is done.
Correct. That's a good way of looking at it.
Looking at it, we all worked and a requirement was felt, okay, let's see how we do it. That's how it has come.
And because you've done this now and you've obviously observed seniors, some different generations of seniors, I think, in the last 10 to 15 years, have you seen some of their changes or their needs evolve? Like one thing I can instantly think about is technology. But while there's a good side where you can, do video calls with your children and your grandchildren, now you also get scam calls and, you're fielding these scammers every day. Have you observed any such changes?
Definitely, and we always keep telling them that even though we taught them how to transfer money from the bank to pay our bills instead of giving checks. So that much of teaching we have done to our seniors. But now we tell them every day, somebody will tell them, don't take unnecessary calls, don't do this. Any scam which comes to us, we have a groups. So we flash it and tell them this is the last method which is, even my wife, and WhatsApp was hacked. So I said, all of us are into this world. But that doesn't mean that, you have to completely stop and not doing anything. But you have to be careful about your bank accounts and how much of money you keep in the bank. You don't need so much of money. The accessibility need not be only to that account. Those things we say, monthly you need only so much. And yes, but it's a worry as much as to me, as much as to them. But we feel that we have to overcome it, and like anybody else is trying to overcome it. It's been a wonderful. Your life has to have some meaning to lead. Frankly speaking, sometimes my wife tells me that you should hang your boots.
Right.
Now, yes, I think I had to hang my boots also. But then what will I do?
Yeah.
You see, this brain has to be kept active.
Right.
So perhaps I have a passion to write. So I may start writing. I will not write a autobiography. Nobody will read. But generally, it's all these myth masala stories which your experiences you can make.
Yeah, but then given that your father also is a writer, you must be a good writer, no? I'm sure if you're writing.
My younger daughter is also journalism honors from Native Ceylon.
Okay.
And according to my father and my younger daughter, my father is no more, of course. My English is not good.
I mean, AI is there to fix it if you try.
And that I now started doing that. Now I got this chat GPT potty. I got cider. I Togo both, and then I write.
So that's doing the job. Yeah, I think many of us are also doing exactly the same thing.
But for you to talk to a 76-year-old man who is now using chat GPT, cider, and then he says, he is making this paper and submitting it. I think you must say remarkably these oldies are of today
So
are.
it is remarkable because a lot of so on this podcast, the seniors are speaking to, they're doing very amazing things. And when you just spoke about your boots, we had spoken to Mr. K.K. Venugopal, who's 93, and he said, I want to die with my boots on. That was his mantra. So I asked him, I said, do you ever think of stopping? He said, no. It said it kept me sharp, so I'm not going to stop. And he still goes to court, he's arguing, he's doing all of that. So this has been a very insightful conversation. But I have one last section, which is the rapid fire. So it's a quick series of questions and quick answers. Your answers can vary in length. One habit from the army that you still follow.
This planning and implementing.
Implementing. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
A show you're currently watching or your favorite show on TV, anywhere?
I don't watch any serial,
Okay.
but I go to YouTube and I watch. I follow some people. I listen to them. I watch it. Shekhar Gupta, print. I do watch, but regularly.
A song you are listening to on repeat or any favorite song?
मुझे मेरे हाल पे छोड़ दो. मुझे तुमसे कुछ ना चाहिए. That is the way I say it is. This is life. Yeah.
One thing you disliked about being young?
Given advice.
Giving advice? One good thing about getting older?
Yeah, you are making mistakes without knowing.
One bad thing about getting older?
Everybody says, be careful.
Your favorite cricketer?
Virat Kohli. Not because of anything. I think that guy has got guts. And he's physically very fit. And I follow him basically because of his spirit.
Correct.
What he exhibits on the field, whether he's a captain or a player or anybody, it's amazing guy. Virat is my
all-time favorite. What is the advice you'd give to a 20 or 21-year-old who is graduating from college?
There's something known as a gut feeling. You bank on that. And whether you're 20 or whatever it is, you choose something which you like. Expand on that. Don't have 10 different things that you like and you want to expand on all 10. It will be a disaster.
So focus.
One thing and carry on.
The advice you'd give to someone who is retiring and entering the silver years?
Silver years are the golden years. Enjoy.
The message you'd give to children who are unsure about sending their parents or in many cases allowing them to live in a senior living home?
I will tell them, you want your parents to be happy, send them to a senior living community.
The message you'd give to seniors who are considering senior living home and are not sure because they're not sure what others will think of their children?
You live for yourself. And if you start worrying for what others are thinking about you, you can't take one step, the next step in life.
If you could relive one period of your life, which would it be?
Indian Army.
Again, how would you like to be remembered?
There was a mad colonel who started something called senior living, and he tried to keep everybody happy, and at the end, he remained happy, but he doesn't know the others remained happy or not.
Sir, that I can tell you, and I've been to these communities. People are incredibly happy, so happy that even I want to join them.
Please come. We also now permit youngsters to come. We don't want to see old faces.
Thank you, sir. This has been a really insightful and wonderful conversation. I'm pretty sure that our viewers also would have something to take, especially those who are on the fence about senior living, or young people like me who want to definitely come to a senior living and continue life there.